guys, and welcome to my channel. Today I'm super excited to be sharing these 3 fun Easter DIYs. The materials for these DIYs had come from Dollar Store, Michael's, and just some scraps that I had laying around at home. So let's jump right into it. So this very first one, I am using this frame that I had picked up at Dollar Store and More. This frame was $3, and as much as I like the farmer's market sign in it, it looked a little messy. And then I used the wooden bunny that was from Dollar Tree, those bunnies that came in a set, and just a piece of scrap material as well as this poster board. Or is it poster board, construction paper, whatever, either one of those would work. So I cut the board to the size of the frame, and I was trying to use this rotary cutter. I got a new one because our Dollar Trees just started carrying them, and but it wasn't really working, so I ended up just using an X-Acto knife to cut it out. So once I was done cutting it out with the knife, I trimmed it with some scissors, double checked it in a frame, and saw that some of the lines weren't quite straight, so I just trimmed them in my cutter, just that way they are straight and fit perfectly inside the frame. Once I was done with that, I moved on to tracing the bunny in the middle of it, and then just cutting it out with the knife again, kind of creating almost like a stencil look. You could also paint the frame on the inside and then just use the bunny that way, but you'll see that this was, in my opinion, a bit easier and a bit faster to create. So once that was cut out, I just traced the square onto the piece of fabric that I had. It doesn't have to be exactly to fit inside. You just want to make sure that it's big enough that when you do put that frame or that stencil looking bunny that you just cut out, the material fits all in there. So I'm using Mod Podge to glue it on. I put it underneath, then over the top, and then I add the cutout piece of paper inside and go over it a little bit with Mod Podge. Again, I was gonna do the ribbon, but I did not like the way it looked. So for my next project, you will need a box of Kleenex, or you can even use a pillow stuffing, some scraps of material, and some of this raffia. You could also use greenery if you wanted to instead of raffia, or if you could find green raffia, would work really well. I could not, so I just used what I had at home. You will also need some hot glue. So the first thing that I do is I just cut the raffia to length, and then I fold it several times and twist it at the bottom and just cut off the folded parts apart, and that's it. You will see what I'll use it for. You probably already know what it's for. And then once that's done and I've created 3 of them, I cut material into squares, the fabric that I had into squares. The one piece of fabric that I was cutting is the drop cloth that I recently just made pillows out of. Make sure you check out that video, because those pillows turned out so cute, and I just love them the way they look in my decor. Now with this piece, I wasn't loving that the folded edge was there, so I ended up cutting out another piece. It was just too thick. I also want to mention that this video is part of my monthly challenge that I host every month, and this month the theme was Easter. So make sure you check out the playlist, which will be linked down below, because there are going to be tons of ideas for you. And I want to thank everybody that is participating in this challenge with me, and I can't wait to watch everyone's videos. So once I had cut those into squares, I folded each square inside and created a cone, and then I stuffed that cone with the Kleenex, and then just gave it a little hot glue and added that raffia inside of it. And then I end up using a piece of rope that I just had on hand just to tie the top together. I repeat the same process for the other pieces of fabric.
You know I want you close, maybe hold your hand a little while. Somehow I know you're gonna be the girl that I'll end up talking about. Can't get enough of this, being with you is like never-ending sunshine. Feels like everything stops for a while when we look into each other's eyes. You go now when you're looking like that. Can't get enough of this. Being with you is a never-ending sunshine. Never-ending sunshine. Gone over this 1,000 times before. Baby, it's now or never. Gotta leave this town and I know what you're asking for. You say it's out of my reach, but I can't reach.
I love the way these carrots turned out. I think they are so much fun and they're gonna look great in my decor. Next project, I am using this burlap runner that I picked up at Michael's. This was about $14.99 with a coupon, and it is a massive piece. As you can see, it's 15 feet long. And then these kitchen sponges, again that wooden rabbit, and some chalk paint, and I'm using Annie Sloan Original. So originally I was going to make sponge bunnies out of sponge, just so I can sponge them on. And so, but as you can see, the whole bunny didn't fit, so I was going to just cut the body and then cut the ears on the other part and just use it that way. But once I was finished cutting out the sponge, I wasn't crazy about how the edges looked. They just weren't clean, and I just, like I said, I wasn't loving it. So then I have decided to use the same stamp that I did on the previous project, where I cut out the middle of the bunny in the middle of a square poster board. No, it doesn't have to be square, it can be circle as long as your bunny fits in there, and using it as a stencil instead of sponging it on. And this actually turned out to be quite easy to do. So if this is your first time stopping by my channel, my name is Sonja, and this is my DIY channel where you will find all sorts of seasonal DIY decor, as well as furniture upcycles and trash to treasures. So I would love it if you considered subscribing, becoming part of my YouTube family, and by pressing that subscribe button and a notification bell. I post 3 or more times a week, so make sure that bell is on so you don't miss out those uploads. So then I took that stencil and a sponge paintbrush and just dabbed the paint onto the edges of the runner. Now I did cut the runner to the size of my kitchen table, and I wanted to have about a foot hanging over on each side. Way this table runner turned out, and I hope that you love it too. Let me know down in the comments which DIY you enjoyed the most, and make sure to check out that playlist. And I want to thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.